Hi, it's me, Ajahn Bonds. Welcome back to the System Thinking in Engineering Mechanics Statics. We will still on the two-dimensional vectors with small practices. So today I will give you two more questions to make you clearly understand about the two-dimensional vector. But if you haven't watched the first video of two-dimensional vector yet, please go on that one because I have already talking about the step on that one. And the last video I'm talking about the step of IPE and step of the additionals of the vectors. So let's try this one. If theta is equal to 60 degrees and T tensile is equal to 5 kilonewtons, this means the magnitude of the resultant force acting on the eye bolt and its direction make sure clockwise from the positive x-axis. So we will start with the IPE step 1. The question gives you 8 kilonewton force and then T kilonewton force which equal to 5 kilonewtons. The degree of 8 kilonewton is 45 degree clockwise from the x-axis, and the angles of T kilonewton is 60 clockwise from the y-axis. And then IPE step number 2. So the first step we will find out the component in terms of x and y, and then go on combine together and then find out the result with the magnitude and the angles. So let's do it in terms of the IPE number 3. I will cut this thing out. For the first steps, let's start with the 8 kilonewtons as F1 here, and then we will continue with the T as F2. So if F1 you can write out it as 8 cos 45 here in terms of the vector I, and this is plus, and then you can write down 8 sine 45 degree in terms of J, and this one is minus. For F2 you can write out it as T is 5 sine 60 in terms of I, and this one is plus, and then 5 cos 60 J, and this one is plus as well. And don't forget that they should have some unit as the kilonewtons. So I will use my calculator to find out the answer of to this. It cos 45 multiplied with s is, this one is 5.657, and then this term is 5.657 as well, because this is a 45 degree here. We have 5 multiplied with sine 60, which is 4.330, and then we have 5 with cos 60, which is 2.5. So we will continue with the step number 2. You combine these terms together and these terms together. You will get that the final results or the resultant force will be 7, 8, 9 and 0.9 here, and then I minus 3.157 J kilonewtons. And the last step, you find out the magnitude of itself. So the magnitude of the resultant force will be equal to the square root of 9.987 square plus minus 3.57 square, and the answer is in the kilonewton unit. And for the angles, if you don't get it very much, so you should draw the basic axis first, and then you write down that the first term is here 9.987 and another one is here 3.157 in the negative direction of y. So they ask you the degree clockwise degree from the position positive x. You can write down it as tan theta will be equal to 3.157 and then over 9.987, and then you put the arctan here for this term, and then hopefully your calculator is not betray you by find out this term. And that's it. So you should get answer by yourself for this one. But sometimes the question didn't ask you that directly on my steps. So let's say 2.t, the question number 2.t from the Hibbeler. They ask you if the magnitude of the resultant, so they give you the resultant instead of give you the t. 9 kilonewtons direct along the positive x-axis, and the resultant is here 9 kilonewtons at the FR. They ask you to determine the magnitude of force T acting on the eyeballs and its angles. So IPE step 1, they give you 8 kilonewton with the 45 degree, and then they give you the FR 9 kilonewton with the 0 degree to the x-axis. So we will still use the step of the additional of vectors. So we will go on with the find out the component in terms of x and y, and then combine it together. And then instead of find out FR, we will find out the T instead. And then let's go to the IPE number T. Let's do it. So in the second questions, the first step to find out the component of or false, you get f1 or this term equal to 8 cos 45 I minus 8 sin 45 j, same as the last questions. And then we should have f2, which is from this one, equal to t sin theta I, and then plus t cos theta j kilonewtons. And they give you the fr here, which is on the x direction, so it means that it is 9 I plus 0 j. So we know that if you combine these two in terms of the component of the x, you should get this one, and if you combine these two, you should get this one as well. So in the second step, 8 cos 45 plus t cos theta should be equal to 9, and 8 minus 8 sin 45 from the y-axis of f1 plus t cos theta should be equal to 0. I'm sorry, my mistake. This one should be psi. And this is the first equation, and this is the second equation. Two equations, two unknown. So you should be find out the answer from this one. What should I do? Maybe we start with the question number 2 first. So if I move this term on the opposite side, I will get that t cos theta will be equal to 8 sin 45, and then I move cos theta to this side, and then I put to the t on the equation number 1. So I will get that 8 cos 45 plus 8 sin 45 over cos theta sin theta equal to 9. So if you and these two terms can combine together to be the tan theta. So in this equation you got one unknown, one equation. So you can find out the number of how much theta that the t should act on the eyeball. And after you got the theta, you put the theta back to the equation number 1 or number 2. You should find out the value of the t. And that's it. Thank you very much, guys. See you next video.